Pretty good. How's you?
I'm good. So, how can I help you today?
Okay, I'm actually having some problems with my Java class.
Okay. So, what's the outcome you want to know for today's session?
Today, there are some specific topics which are like I have problem with arrays,
Okay.
and then some other functions. And
So basically, I will like do a short review and then go deeper into the array for you.
Yeah.
Just like that. Is that okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So first, tell me what do you know about the overcome? I mean the overall of the whole Java. It's up to now. What you know?
So, what I know of Java is it's pretty popular language. A lot of people use it, and then
I mean that what do you get from the course up to now?
okay.
So
Yesterday she was helping me out, and then she's like, "You better study tomorrow."
okay. So what do you get from the class? I mean, which one do you understand most, and which one you don't understand? It's like something like that. So which one you are deeply understand and
So I understand classes, object, methods, and strings.
okay. So
But then I think the main thing where I have problems is like in like a deep look into the methods or arrays
Okay.
or array list.
so
Those are the big ones.
okay, you know the object oriented, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell me the definition of an object? It's like how do you create an object and use it? Just the method. How do you create an object and use it? Okay.
Can't really explain.
So basically, the object is just here. What you got. This is the memory.
Yeah.
Okay. So in memory, you have location to save addresses, right? When you create an object, which means here's an object, right? And the address of the objects will be saved in the location. So every time you call, here's the key, the method key is the new. New is the key to unlock the object.
Okay.
So every time you create an object, you have to have a new. The new is the keyword to create an object. If you don't have the new, it's just a reference variable, and there's nothing you can do with it. So you can imagine that you have a blueprint of a house, right? It's not actually a house, you just have the blueprint. And the variable name is exactly the same as the blueprint. Unless you call new, which means you call all the employees and build up the house. That way you got the object. The object is the house, and the reference variable is the blueprint of the house. That's how I can definition for you like that.
Okay.
So string and integer, all that stuff is also an object, the class object. Okay, so the method, right? The method in Java, the definition of method is just functions. Like you said that you studied C before, right?
Yeah.
You know all the functions, right?
Yeah.
So method is just like the function, but there's one difference. Okay, in function you can just call it, right? Just
Yeah.
call the function, use the prototype of it. But in Java, there's two types of function. I mean two type of methods. The one with the static and the one with no static.
Okay.
Because we are studying about object-oriented programming, right? So we focusing more about the non-static class than the static class.
Okay.
So
So what's the like difference between those two object methods?
a method, okay. So for the static method, because static method is all the basic. So when you just create the main program Java, and you don't have other classes to provide you, right? Then you have to say public static something, right?
Yeah.
And you can create the method right after the class main.
Yeah.
That's how we. That's one definition of the
Okay.
method, the
Static.
static method.
Okay.
The other way is you can create the static method inside another class.
Okay.
So, do you remember there's a class called math, right?
Math,
Dot
yeah.
power something. That is the class, and the method, some, for example, power of something. That's the static.
Static method. Okay.
So the definition, another definition of the static method is that you don't have to create an object to use the method, because usually when you create a class, right, you have to call that class with a new, just like we discussed above, right? We have to create a new object, and then we set that object name dot the method,
Yeah.
right? But when you use the static method, you don't have to create an object. You just call the class dot the
Yeah.
method.
Yeah.
And the other one is totally opposite with the previous one, which means, do you get it? The second one?
Yeah. I mean, like how you said, static is you can have it inside the object.
Yeah, and outside the object
And
also.
outside too. So, how does the non-static work in that case?
So the static method is just you can call it without creating object.
Yeah.
But the one is just opposite. You have to create object, and then call
Yeah.
it.
Could you give me example of? Both?
Okay. So for example, you have a class called student, right?
Yeah.
Like this, and inside you have a method get grade,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you don't put a static here.
Okay.
This is not a static.
Okay.
So in the main, right, you have to call the class student a variable name st1 equal new student. Okay, and then you can call get grade. Okay, this is the second type of method when you have to create an object first. Okay, I will put it right here so we can actually compare these two. So another one is just class book. Okay,
Yeah.
so inside the main, just two main. Okay, inside the class book, you put the static before the class get price, just like that.
Yeah.
So in the main, you just go book dot get price.
Oh, so you're basically calling in.
Yeah, you just call it. You see, two difference, right? This here you have to remember. This is the variable name,
Yeah.
and there's a new. The new is the key to create an object,
Yeah.
and right here you use the variable name.
Yeah. St dot.
Okay, but this one, see,
Yeah.
you only use the class name to call the
Because
object.
you use static.
Yeah, because you use static. So what's the conclusion for to type? This one is to. So can you repeat again? It's like for this one and this one. What do you have to do for each one?
So for this one,
Okay.
because you don't have to like specify it like student as you don't have to make an object.
Okay.
And then for non-static, you have to make an object and then call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the main difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what are the different ways they are used? Like which one? Like doesn't matter. You can use both of them. For
So for example, in a big company, right, you have a lot of employees, right? You cannot. So you need for each employee you need an ID for them. So for each ID you need to create an object. Okay. So that each of them will have the security and like all the private information that's only they know and the HR office know.
Yeah.
And nobody else can touch it because it's an object for themselves. Right? But in the static, it's like it's a library.
Public.
Public library like that. So you can just call it, get it, right? Just use it whatever is available for you.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
So this is like a private code.
Yeah, this is private and this is
Public.
just public, just like that. So
Yeah.
what's next? The array, right?
Arrays, yeah.
Okay, array. So how many type array? So how many type arrays that you learn?
I actually don't have enough, like, I don't know that much about arrays yet.
Okay.
Like, I learned it, but, like my teacher taught us, but I didn't get it.
Okay.
So, yeah, like, you can start from the basic array.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's also two types of array.
Okay.
Arrays of value and the array of object.
Okay.
There's only one difference between two types of arrays. These arrays, you don't hold the address, you hold actually the value of it. So
Okay.
for example, this is the memory,
Yeah.
and this is the, for example, int, right? This is array of integer,
Yeah.
and this is student array. Okay.
Yeah.
So for each location right here, it will refer to a value. For example, 3 is an integer and 4 is an integer.
Yeah.
So for every element 0, 1, 2, it depends on the length of the array.
Yeah.
So when you call, let's call it number, the name of the array is number. So number of 0 is just 3, right?
Yeah.
Because it's referred to 3.
Yeah.
That's how the normal array acting. But when you have the array of object, it's a little bit different. Inside the memory, instead of, because inside the student, you have a lot of variables, right? It's like student name, student ID, student grade, all that stuff, right? So one thing cannot refer to all of them, right?
Yeah.
So what the arrays do is, instead of holding the actual value, just holding the address.
So you don't have to like put it every time. You just
So
call it.
it's holding the address of the object name. For example, student 1. Let's choose the name, right? It's like Bill,
Yeah.
right? Bill is the keyword for the first object in the array. So when you call class
Yeah.
of Bill, right?
Yeah.
It's only return the address of Bill.
Yeah.
Okay, and when you set Bill dot something, it will return the value.
Oh, okay.
See, so right here you just call number of something and you return it, so the value immediately. But right here, if you just call class
It's
Bill,
gonna give you the address.
just the address. So you have to use the method. That's why the method and the arrays have really big connections.
What you gonna put here, like build the method name?
Yeah, the method name. It's like you want to know the student name, the student ID, the student grade, then you
Build
choose it.
student name or ID.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
grade.
yeah. So for example, you want to get the grade, right? You just get grade, build dot get grade.
And then put the bracket.
Yeah. So here's an example for the array of objects. So you got the class name student, right?
Yeah.
Inside you got a private variable, let's say name,
Yeah.
the same with the ID. Right here is the grade, right?
Don't we have to call it here like private int or something?
Yeah. This because this is a name, so it's a string.
String. Okay.
And the ID is just a number, and the grade is also a number, right? So, do you remember the setter and getter, right?
I remember set and get. Is
Yeah.
it same?
Yeah,
Okay.
set and get.
Yeah.
We just add ter, so it's
Okay.
like it sounds more humans. Just the stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I know that.
when you set something, which means you set the value for that, right?
Yeah.
And when you just get the value. Right?
Get value. Yeah.
So this is two basic methods that you should have in